Good evening, and welcome to Educate Our Youth. I'm your host, Janet Keith Thompson. I'm the CEO and co-founder of the Mamie Keith and Aline Bradley Educational Foundation, also known as Educate Our Youth. The mission of Educate Our Youth is to make college more accessible through education, mentoring, professional development, and other means available to students by offering programs such as ACT, SAT workshops, college tours, assistance when applying for financial aid, financial literacy, young entrepreneurship, and athletes and academics. Our guest this afternoon is Mr. Jalen Thomas. He is an admission counselor from Virginia State University. Good evening, Jalen.
Good evening. Thank you for having me.
Oh, you
Pleasure
just,
to be here.
I'm so happy that you are. So let's jump in. Let's talk about Virginia State. Give me a little history about Virginia State University.
All right. So Virginia State University, we are a land grant institution. We were founded in 1822. So we are one of two land grant institutions in the state of Virginia.
Okay.
The other one being Virginia Tech. So we were also the first HBCU to receive a land grant. So one of our biggest departments on campus is the College of Agriculture. So we have a farm that has, I think it's like over 400 acres and has just about anything and everything that you could think of. So there's a lot of research, projects, experiments that take place down there. We obviously have workers that are down there. We have cooperative extension as well with them that our farm has. And so the different majors, they go down there. There's definitely a lot to do on campus. We definitely have a rich history from our woo-woos to the different organizations that are on campus. So there's definitely a lot to get involved. There's a lot to see. So there's definitely a lot more to talk about. I can talk about the president. There's a lot.
So how far are you from Richmond?
So we're about 30 minutes south of Richmond. We're located in Petersburg, and we're also 2 hours south of DC. So not too far from two of the major cities.
Right. So let's talk about the application process for Virginia State.
The application process is really easy. So our application is free, and just like many other things, it is online. It is virtual. So you will visit our website, vsu.edu/apply. And then that is where you'll go to fill out your free application. It doesn't take long. It's very quick, very easy. The essay is optional. So the only thing that you would need to do is fill out the rest of that information. That information is stuff that you already know. So name, date of birth, where you live, military, those different things. So it's really simple. And then once you've submitted that, you would submit your documents. And that ranges this year simply because due to COVID-19, we understand that students haven't been able to take the SAT or ACT. Testing sites have canceled at the last minute for whatever reason. The good thing about Virginia State is we've always been test optional. So by that, I mean, if you have a 3.0 or above, you have the option, you still have the option not to submit test scores. But now we've expanded that. So if you fall below that 3.0 mark, you can still submit an application, still submit your transcript and receive a decision from us. So application process, like I said, doesn't take long. Once you've submitted your application and those required documents, you'll receive a decision from us via mail. And then from there, you'll go through, if you decide to say, hey, I want to be a part of the Trojan experience, join Trojan Land, you would go through those steps of submitting payments and filling out the housing application. But the application process is very quick, very easy.
So are you saying that even with COVID, you don't have to submit SAT and ACT scores? Are the students giving a placement test when they arrive there?
So they take a placement test regardless of whether they have the SAT or ACT. They definitely will take the placement test. That typically takes place during orientation. They've been kind of playing around with it as of late, but students will still take a placement test.
Okay. What majors are offered at Virginia State?
There is a lot. Let's see, I'll go down the list of the different colleges that we have. So like I previously stated, we have the College of Agriculture. So underneath there, you have Family and Consumer Science. If you're interested in animal science / pre-vet, that falls underneath there as well. What else is underneath there? Our TAB department, which is Textile, Apparel, Merchandising Management. I have to say
Oh,
that very
okay.
slowly because it's the tongue twister. So translation, it's fashion merchandising. So that
Okay.
falls underneath that College of Agriculture as well. You have our College of Education. So that has your middle school education, special education, elementary education.
Mm-hmm.
Our hyper program is also under the College of Education. So that's our health, physical education, recreation, no, hyper, health, physical education, recreation. So if you're interested in like physical therapy or to be a physical trainer, you would fall underneath that category. We also have our Reginald F. Lewis College of Business. So you have your management, accounting, entrepreneurship, marketing. That is a very competitive program. It is very challenging. But the reason for that is it's reflective of what they would be experiencing out in the real world. So
Okay.
they want you to think outside of the box. They want you to be prepared. They want you to have the tools that is necessary to be successful. So they force you to, not force you, but they want you to think business minded while you're in
Right.
school so that you won't struggle with that once you get out into the field. So they have mock meeting rooms, assignments that they give out. You may think that the deadlines may be unrealistic, but that may be what your boss requires once you,
Mhm.
you know, get into the
Get
workforce,
into
or
the
maybe that
workforce.
yeah, that may be what you require for your people once you start your own business. So they really, it's a really awesome program. What else am I missing? College of Humanities and Social Sciences.
That's just
So
it.
that's your mass communications, your sociology, your social work, your psychology, and then the College of Natural and Health Sciences. So that's your biology and chemistry. There's a lot more, but that's just like the main gist. We also have criminal justice, which is a very popular major. Oh, I
Yeah.
did forget our College of Engineering. Our
Okay.
engineering program is awesome. And all of the majors that I've mentioned, they're really hands-on. So specifically with the College of Engineering, that building, I always tell students that there are not many standard classrooms in there. So when you walk in, you will definitely be able to apply what you're learning. You'll be able to experience it for yourself, opposed to just memorizing something out of a textbook. Being able to do it and see it really helps retain that information. So in each of these programs, you'll definitely have that opportunity. One thing I will like to add, since we're talking about majors, it'll be our classroom sizes. So when you enter the classroom,
Right.
don't expect to walk into a classroom of 50 plus people. The student to faculty ratio is 13 to 1. So, and your average class size is around 20. So you
Okay.
won't be in a very large class with a bunch of people. You'll be identified by your name. Your professor will know you. They will know
Right.
you as who you are. They'll know when you change your hair color, your nail color, when you get a haircut, all that. I mean, we laugh about it, but it helps in the classroom environment. Students feel more inclined to go to class. They feel more inclined to do their homework because their professor has a personal interest in them to make sure that they're successful while they're in their classroom and once they, like I said, go out into the workforce. So you may also find that some professors give out their personal work numbers. I mean, personal
Okay.
cell phone numbers, so that you can reach them after office hours, because sometimes questions may not hit you right when you're in the classroom. Something may come to you, you know, once you leave.
Right.
So you're able to get in contact with them outside of that.
So are your classrooms, are they lecture based or discussion based?
It's a mixture of both depending on the program that you're in. What I have learned and what I've seen for myself is it's specifically when I was taking like an education course in the College of Education, uh, it was lecture in the half of the class. So she did
Okay.
her PowerPoint, and you know we took notes. But then after that, we were able to apply what we were learning. So she split us into groups, and it was that hands-on experience. So it's really depending on the professor and your program and what you're learning, because some programs may be, you know, literature heavy. So you may have to do a lot more reading than others, but some of them are definitely going to give you that hands-on, and you'll be able to apply what you're
Okay.
learning.
So what percentage of students graduate in 4 years from VSU?
So I'm not exactly sure of the graduation rate. I know that the retention rate is like 74, 75%.
Okay.
So that kind of still gives you some insight. But what I do tell students is that if you want to graduate in 4 years, you graduate in 4 years. It can be done. It has been
Yeah.
done. As long as you stay focused, you manage your time well, and you have, the good balance. Because one thing we do take pride in is that we like to have balance. The transformative experience, in my personal opinion, and what my experience has been, it has been balanced. So your sole purpose of coming to school is to get your degree. So we want you to focus on that first, which is why you're not able to join any of the organizations your freshman year. We want to make sure that you're focused on your schoolwork and you can get
Okay.
that done. And then once you get into your sophomore year, that's when you can start joining the different clubs and organizations that are on campus. And we have over 90 clubs and organizations. We have over 17 Division II sports. So you definitely have the opportunity and time to have fun. But we just want to make sure that you are focused on getting your schoolwork done first and foremost.
Sounds great. I'd like to tell my viewers, if you have any questions or comments, please like us and go to our Facebook page to ask any questions, and we will respond as soon as we get the question or comments. So is there support to help students? What type of academic supports is there for the students, like tutoring and things of that nature?
Most definitely. So we have our Academic Center of Excellence, which has been around for a couple years now. It's located on the second floor of our library. Our freshmen mainly deal with them their freshman year when they come to VSU. So they'll schedule their classes with them. But for those that are sophomores and up, they still have access to the ACE Center. It's in the library for a very good reason. So if you need help with tutoring, if you need any extra assistance in class, if you just need to speak to somebody, they are there. They are there to help you. So you definitely have tutoring services available to you. You have a writing lab as well. So for those that have to write a bunch of papers, you have a writing lab that's there to get you through the semester. And then we also have a career center. So like I said, our job is to make sure that you're successful while you're at Virginia State and once you graduate. So if we don't prepare you to get a job, then that means we're not doing our job properly and effectively. So we want to make sure that you have those tools at your disposal so that you can, be equipped. So they help you with your resume. They're going to help you, find the internships. Many of the programs require you to get that out in the field experience. And one thing I will say about by the classrooms being small, you have the opportunity to build a rapport with your professor. And many of them have been in the field or are currently working in the field. So you have, connections, you have network opportunities right here, in front of your face, at your fingertips. And it's up to you whether or not you would like to access that. But it's definitely made available to the students, 100%, 1,000%.
And that was one of the questions I was going to ask you, is about support for internship. That they do have programs that will assist students in finding internships. Okay.
So we definitely have programs. We have partnerships with a lot of different companies depending on the major that you're in. I know specifically the School of Business, they have an entrepreneurship program built within their department. So they're really pushing you to the max. They want to make sure that you are well equipped to handle what we're all facing now. And because the world is forever changing, we have to make sure that you have what you need to be successful.
Exactly. So you have off-campus housing and on-campus housing as well?
We do. So our University of Ettrick apartments, they are located off campus. Now, once again, our freshmen can't jump into off-campus housing. Well, I guess with everything going on now, we can't really require anyone to live on campus. But typically in the past, freshmen were required to live on campus unless you live within a certain mile radius. But we do have Ettrick apartments. Those are typically reserved for upperclassmen. They go through their own process. So when they send out their information to the student body, you'll get the information on what their application deadline is, how much it is. They have their own set of rules, parking pass, all of that good stuff. So you do feel like you're independent, and they have different setups. So for Ettrick, mainly you have like 2 people on this side, 2 people on this side. Sorry, let me bring my hands in the camera. And then there's a living room and a kitchen. So it is apartment style. Some of them is just one person on this side, one person on this side, and you still share a kitchen and a living room. They are recently renovated. So they have new appliances, new flooring. So it's really nice on the inside.
Okay.
So students definitely get to take advantage of that. And if you're on campus, it's not horrible either. We have a lot of fun on campus. So there's 11 residence halls on campus, and it ranges. So you have mainly five freshman residence halls. So two of them are all female, two of them are all male, and the other one is co-ed, which is quad one. So quad one fills up very quickly. One, because it's a newer building on campus, and each double. So you still have a roommate, but each double has its own bathroom. So that's why it fills up so quickly, because the other residence halls, well, the other four incoming freshman residence halls are traditional residence halls. So you share a bathroom with the people on that hallway. Now, once you get into sophomore, junior, senior status, you definitely have the opportunity to explore different setups. So you can obviously still have your roommate, have a regular double. Some residence halls are catered specifically just to singles. One residence hall, I think, is Stewart. It is singles, but you only have like 4 or 5 people on the floor. And the reason why I say that is because you do share a bathroom, but obviously you're not sharing it with, I don't know, 20, 30 other people. I could be exaggerating. I don't know the exact number of how many people are on each floor. But when you get into like Gateway and more, Gateway is still double, so you have your own roommate and then your own bathroom. And then more is suites. So there's different setups within more. So once again, you have that 2 people on each side. Those 2 people have their own bathroom, and then there's a shared space. There's no kitchen, but you do have a shared like living room area. And then the other ones are mainly doubles. So it really ranges.
Are any of them co-eds?
Yes. So the only residence halls that are all male and all female are going to be those freshman residence halls. So Bird and Branch, which are all female, and then Langston and William, which are all male. The other residence halls like Gateway, Moore, Stewart, Whiting, what else am I missing? Those residence halls, they are all co-ed.
Okay. So let's talk about a merit-based scholarship. Explain that, how that works, and who's eligible.
So our merit-based scholarships, they are, once again, we try to make things as easy as possible for students. So with our merit-based scholarships, you don't have to do any additional work. You don't have to write another essay. So when they submit their application to us, they're required documents, and those required documents will be your transcript, along with SAT or ACT scores. So I know that we're test optional this year, but our merit-based scholarships right now still do require both the GPA along with SAT or ACT. So that's why we still encourage students to take it. And one thing I didn't mention when I was talking about the application process is that we're rolling admission. So that means by us being rolling admission, we're always taking in transcripts, which means we're always taking in scores. So if you're not able to take the SAT or ACT now, you definitely have the opportunity to take it from now up until the beginning of next semester. So that means if it gets canceled the next 2 months, you have from January up until pretty much August to take that test. So you still have the opportunity to submit those scores to us along with any updated transcripts. So the merit-based scholarships, like I said, you don't have to do anything additional. So when you submit those documents to us, we'll say, hey, this person has a 1080 and a 3.0, and that's the requirement for our Provost Scholarship, which is $6,500 per school year. So that pretty much sums it up. There's a presidential scholarship as well, and that's a $10,000 scholarship per academic school year. And they are renewable. So as long as you maintain that GPA, so it would either be a 3.0 or a 3.2 GPA while you're at BSU, you will receive those scholarships each academic school year. Also, with those merit-based scholarships, you will be considered an honors student. So by being an honors student, you're part of the honors program. Honors program is housed in Quad 1, as well as the department. So you have direct access to the individuals who are going to be helping you. You will be assigned a mentor as well, and they also live in the building. So you definitely have a lot of resources at your disposal, and you also receive priority housing. So that's why I encourage, there's a lot of incentives when you do well academically. Obviously, you're saving money for tuition, but you have, good things that happen to you while you're at BSU.
Let me ask you, some colleges don't charge out-of-state tuition. What is the tuition if you're in state, and what's the tuition if you're out of state for
All right,
Virginia
so I
State?
try to stay as far away from numbers as much as possible, but
Okay.
roundabout figures, you're looking at around 9,000 and some change for in-state.
Mhm.
That's not including room and board,
Right.
and then
Okay.
around 20,000 and some change for out-of-state tuition.
Okay.
So room and board ranges around 10,000 and some change. And the reason why I say and some change is because it varies each academic
There is.
school year. I don't think it ever goes down, but that's the world that we live in.
Yeah.
So you definitely you include that. So that's why it's important, once again, to do well academically, because we have merit-based scholarships that are offered to you, but you also have your local organizations in your community that have scholarships that are made
Mhm.
available to you that may be merit-based.
Right.
Scholarships through like athletic scholarships or department scholarships through each department on campus,
Right.
depending on your major. So there's definitely a lot of scholarships out there. And one thing I like to add to that, if students are able to, well, I encourage students rather to write maybe 2 to 3 essays in the beginning of their college application process, so that
Okay.
they can knock out those scholarship applications back to back, because many of the scholarships ask you the same questions or very similar questions. So if you have your skeleton of an essay, you can just kind of switch things out, maybe edit a few things, and then boom,
Mhm.
boom, 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 you're done. And it just makes it more time efficient for you. So you're not stressing out every single night or every single weekend trying to write another essay for another scholarship.
Right. So tell me, most of the classes taught by professors or teaching assistants?
Definitely more so professors. You will see teacher assistants every now and again, but the professors are the main ones that do the instructing in the classroom, most definitely.
Okay. Okay. Cool. So
Yes,
let's talk about your clubs and organizations. I know you have the Divine Nine,
we
and
do.
yes, yes. And what else is going on Virginia State campus?
There's a lot. There's a lot. So we have over 90 clubs and organizations, as I previously mentioned. If you have any interest in like dancing, um, written word, poetry, acting, singing, modeling, it's really on both ends of the spectrum. So my hands are out here because that's how large it is. But
Mhm.
you even have clubs that are catered to academics. So if you want to have a balance, obviously if you have talents that you want to showcase, you have that opportunity. I know one of the biggest, what Virginia State is known for is our VSUGC, which is Voices Serving Under God's Calling, which is our gospel chorale.
Right.
They
Okay.
are world renowned. They travel everywhere. They've been to Italy. They travel all around America. They are amazing. I travel with them, obviously not to Italy, but I enjoy
Yeah.
seeing them because they put on such a great show. And it's an experience to see them.
Uh,
And then you also have other opportunities. So if you don't necessarily want to be in VSUGC, you still have other opportunities if you want to be a singer. There's Panic, and there's multiple organizations that cater to each of these. So you have options. So what we do is we have a Yard Fest in the beginning of the semester, and that is just a showcase of all the organizations that are on campus. So
mhm.
each of them will come out, perform, maybe talk about their history. If they're not a performance-based organization, they may just have some type of visual so that you can see what they do. But a lot of opportunities to get involved. So especially on the academic side, you have Mass Comm Club, there's History Club, there's Math Club, there's Psychology Club. There's
Right.
organizations catered to community service. There's organizations catered to promoting events on campus. So um, I also encourage students to pair it with what you have obviously a passion for, but if you can
Right.
somehow intertwine that with your major just to kind of reinforce those things, that's really awesome and really enhances your college experience while being at VSU.
Right. It really does, because you're doing something that you like and that
Correct.
so you're going to really put your all in all into it.
Right. And it
So,
creates balance.
yeah, yes. What's the first year like for a student, for a freshman? What's it like for a freshman first year on campus?
It is, I will say it's an experience. It's different for each person, but we want to make sure that you're welcomed. We want to make sure that you feel safe on campus. So
Mhm.
before we move everyone else in, we have a welcome week just catered to freshmen. Now, you may see
Okay.
other people on campus, like the band, they may be on campus practicing, or the football team, people that have to come back early for specific reasons. But we do have a welcome week. And that welcome week is really just to help the freshmen get acclimated to the campus. So they have a campus tour so that they know exactly where they're going. We have activities
Okay.
on campus for them that range from being informative about the different departments with what they can expect on the education side, academic side. But we also want to make sure that they have fun. So we have social, and there's like 3 different socials. So the tab department hosts that. So there's the bookstore social, there's a library social. So you'll see those different organizations. For those that are back on campus, you may see the Greeks strolling. They have a DJ. They have different activities throughout the day. There's obviously a time here where everyone can relax and just kind of wind down because college can be tiring.
Right.
So we want to make sure that they are familiar with what they're doing. So we have that welcome week specifically catered for them. And then once everyone comes back on the campus, that's when we have that Yard Fest. So they're still, they're still being shown what campus is all about. So, like I said, each person has their own experience, but it's an enjoyable one. Now, we still want you to focus on getting to the books, making sure you do well in the classroom.
Right.
So we want you to have fun, and we definitely are here to help you. But once again, it's about balance. So that's why we do what we do.
Okay. So you mentioned a football team. So you have football team, basketball team, track.
Yes.
What else do you have?
There's football, basketball, baseball, softball, track and field, cross country, volleyball.
Okay.
We even have a women's bowling team. We have intramural sports. So if you're not going to be playing, we are Division II. We are part of the CIAA conference, Central Intercollegiate Athletic Association. I'm getting better at saying that every single time.
Okay.
So you can definitely get involved. There's athletic scholarships available to you. The sporting events are definitely a lot of fun. You'll see the Trojan Explosion Band there, or a pep band. You'll see our woo-woos there, Trojan Fire, Essence of Troy. So it's a lot of energy. Students definitely go to the games, especially when it's like our bigger rivals, like Virginia Union. One of the bigger things, bigger games rather, is the Labor Day Classic. So that's the game where we play Norfolk. So that's always a big game, and people travel out to the Norfolk area, and it's a lot of fun. It's a friendly rivalry majority of the time, but it is all HBCU love at the end of the day. So yes, football teams and basketball games are definitely great games to attend. Men's basketball, they were CIAA champions 2018 or 2019. No, 2018. 2018. I hope I'm saying that right before someone texts me.
You're good. So let's talk about the fun facts about Virginia State University. What's the fun facts about this university?
Fun facts. So I'll talk about our homecoming.
Yeah.
Our homecoming is definitely a great event to be a part of. We also have like a spring version of that, which is our spring fling. So you definitely have the opportunity to just see everyone. It's one big family reunion. I don't think it's really a fun fact. Everyone knows that we have a homecoming, but just to experience it all is different than any other HBCU. I feel like, and every HBCU has their own feeling when you're on their campus. But definitely our homecoming. It's another fun fact. I think I already talked about the land grant institution. Our School of Business was voted #1 school of business in all of HBCUs. They also have the highest accreditation that a school of business can have. And Virginia State itself was voted #1 HBCU. So that's another fun fact. So that just kind of goes to show that the effort that we put in is being recognized, and it shows.
Yeah, it sounds like it was a fantastic campus when we visited. We was welcome there. Unfortunately, we didn't get a chance to dine there, but because it was during the summer. But yeah, but it was nice. It really was nice. The atmosphere was really nice.
So as you mentioned the food, I'll talk about the food really quickly. The food there on campus is definitely awesome. There's different varieties every day, so you definitely have options to pick from. There's 2 dining halls on campus. We also have a Chick-fil-A and a Subway on campus. So Chick-fil-A is really popular because who doesn't love Chick-fil-A?
Exactly.
And one of the popular days in the CAF, as what we refer to it, is definitely Fried Chicken Wednesday. That's when you see everybody in the CAF, whether they come Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, or Friday. You will definitely see people in there on Wednesday, Fried Chicken Wednesday.
With their hot sauce.
Yes, plenty of it. Plenty of it. So that is, it definitely has its family feeling. Many times you'll see Family Feud on the TV. Everyone's watching Family Feud, eating their fried chicken, just having a good time, laughing. Just, to end the day of, you may have been stressed all day. It may not have been a very good day, but to be able to sit down and eat with, whomever you're eating with, and break bread definitely brings you joy at the end of the day. That's why I encourage students to get involved, because when they join those clubs and organizations, that's how you find your little, niche into the campus, into the big family. So you're joining one little small family into this large family.
Exactly.
So that's why I always tell students, if it's not the performance-based organizations and you're not comfortable with being on stage, there are many other things. So yes, most definitely.
Well, I tell you what, you have been very informative. You've given us a lot of information. You are very informative.
Okay.
Yes. You give us a lot of information about Virginia State University, and I hope that the parents and students that's listening took some notes. And if they're interested, you can put your website was on. You can give your contact information.
Yes.
So you can reach you at J Thomas at Virginia State.
J Thomas at vsu.edu.
Okay, sounds great. And I'd like to say to my audience, we will not broadcast next Tuesday. It's election day, nor will we broadcast on November 11th, but we return to you guys on November 17th. And Jalen, I would like to say this before we go. Will y'all have classes next semester? Will it be?
So we are looking to have face-to-face classes next semester. We obviously don't know what the future beholds. Simply because we wanted to have class in face-to-face, or at least the option for face-to-face fall 2020. But that didn't work out. We were fully virtual, online, remote. So we're hoping to have that, but we don't know what November, December is going to bring.
Yeah. Well, let's pray for some good days ahead.
Yes, we need it. We definitely need it.
Yeah. Well, listen, it's been a pleasure talking to you this afternoon.
Yes, likewise.
And you have, November's coming. Get out and vote if you haven't already.
Please. And I did my voting early.
I did too. Yeah. And have a great Thanksgiving, Jalen.
You too.
And
be safe.
Care. You too.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. All right. Good evening.